program coordinator for the Business Office Technology program at Southwest Texas College. And I appreciate each of you that are making the time for you to be able to be here this morning. And I can tell you, this is my first time to have it here in Eagle Pass, and I really appreciate the staff here. They've done such wonderful things. And matter of fact, our food is coming in right now, so it'll be up. Come on in. Well, you're a special person. We don't want to not let you in. Okay. So, Charla, would you like to, Charla, would you introduce yourself and then call us to order?
Sure. I'm Charlotte Garcia. I'm the Human Resource Officer at Uvalde Memorial Hospital and current chair of this advisory committee for a few years now. So welcome everybody. I'm glad to have a lot of new members join. So we will go ahead and call the meeting to order and maybe start with some introductions since people are new.
Yes, absolutely. We need to start with introductions. Okay. Twyla, if you would introduce yourself, please. I'm just going to start on Zoom.
Yes, I'm Twyla Barnett. I'm the Business Management Program Coordinator with Southwest Texas College. And thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here, Twyla. Manuel?
Good morning, everyone. I teach business and computer science courses.
Thank you. Mr. Walker? He may have walked away. He's with Coleman Horton Accounting. Oh, I have feedback. He's with Coleman Horton Accounting and Uvalde. Luis Ruiz?
Good morning. My name is Luis Ruiz. I am success coach for the Business, Industrial, and Technical Studies in Uvalde, Texas.
Thank you. And Carlos?
Hi, good morning. My name is Carlos Fernandez. I work for the Office of the Attorney General out of Uvalde office.
Thank you. Cruz?
Good morning. My name is Cruz Mata. I am the Vice President of Student Services. This is my first time here, so.
And I appreciate you being here, Cruz. He has a very busy schedule, so I appreciate it. Sandra?
Sure.
I'm Sandy Colombo with Southwest Texas College. I am the success coach here in Del Rio, along with the M through C for general studies.
Thank you. And Charlie, you've already introduced yourself. Judy?
Hi, Judy Estrada. I am Division Chair for Applied Science, or one of the Division Chairs for the Applied Sciences programs here at Southwest Texas College.
Thank you. Tito?
My name is Damasio Sanchez, and I'm one of the dual credit coordinators here at U College campus.
Yes, and we do have several dual credit high schools right now. Del Rio, we're working with Del Rio. We're working with, help me.
UCA, I think, is to jump on board with that.
Right, Uvalde Classical Academy, and yes, also Lakey, but there's another high school that has their own instructor. It's one of the
Uvalde High School.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. Oh, Uvalde High School, yes, too. Anyway, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know why we're getting a picture of England right now. I guess I hit something. Okay.
Picture.
Mr. Martinez?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric Martinez. I'm with the Middle Rio Grande Development Council, Public Relations. I cover all 9 counties as far south as Ensenada, La Salle, and Valverde, Uvalde, and everybody in the room.
Yes, and our college works very closely with Middle Rio Grande, so we really appreciate your attendance, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Judy, Ms. Estrada, inviting me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Amy?
Hello, everybody. I'm Amy Brooks. I'm the Instruction and Curriculum Lead for Adult Educational Literacy at the Del Rio campus.
Thank you, Amy. And Luis Perez? Oh, he said, sorry, no mic on my side. I teach networking and server-related courses. Thank you, Luis. Brenda Hoffman, are you available?
Hi, yes. Good morning, everyone. Brenda Hoffman, Vice President for Eagle Pass.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Hoffman, I deeply appreciate all the support from all of your staff and yourself as well. Ms. Young or Denise Oden? Or Denise, go ahead. I thought you were a different Denise to begin with. I'm sorry. Denise Young. Okay, Denise Young is also with the Office of the Attorney General's Office, and she does recruiting, and they have worked with our program for many years. And Charla was being very humble when she stated that she's been the chair for a few years. She's been the chair for longer than I've been here, and she's wonderful at it, and I really appreciate her. She's always very supportive of us.
But I always manage to keep my youthful appearance.
There you go. Absolutely. That's right. We're just youngsters, and you're much younger than I am, so let that be said. Okay, we need to move to review the technical programs. And Judy, if you would do that, please. And those of you in the room or those of you on Zoom, the document that was uploaded, it's on page 3.
All right. So again, welcome everybody. I'm going to just take a minute to read our effective use of advisory committee meeting document. Institutions must establish an industry-based advisory committee for each workforce education program. Advisory committees may be organized by career cluster, provided that each program is reviewed. The committee has the necessary expertise and ample time is allotted for each program. The role of an advisory committee is to 1, help the college document the need for a workforce education program, and 2, ensure the program has adequate resources and a well-designed curriculum to provide students with the knowledge, skills, and abilities essential for employment. The advisory committee is one of the principal means of ensuring meaningful business and industry participation in program creation and revision. Advisory committee functions are as follows. Advisory committees perform the following functions: evaluating the goals and objectives of program curriculum, establishing workplace competencies for the program occupations, suggesting program revisions as needed, evaluating the adequacy of existing college facilities and equipment, advising college personnel on the selection and acquisition of new equipment, identifying local business and industry leaders who will provide students with work-based learning experiences, employment and placement opportunities, assisting in the professional development of the faculty, assisting in promoting and publicizing the program to the community and the business and industry, and representing the needs of students from special needs populations as defined in Perkins 5. Advisory committee composition. Advisory committees must be composed of persons who broadly represent the demographics, including ethnic and gender diversity of the institution service area, as well as the occupational field in all sectors of the business community within the institution service area. Members should be well informed about the knowledge, skills, and abilities required for the occupation for which they are providing information and guidance. Full-time faculty and staff of the college may not be members of the advisory committee, but they may serve in a non-voting ex officio capacity. Part-time faculty who hold full-time positions within the career field may be members of the committee. Faculty and staff of senior institutions with programs articulation agreements may be members of the committee. Advisory committee meeting and minutes. Advisory committees of existing programs must meet in real time, either in person or virtually, a minimum of 1 time a year, and should have a quorum present. Additionally, committee members should be kept apprised of the program's performance throughout the year. During the development of new programs, advisory committees must meet in real time, either in person or virtually, at least twice prior to the submission of the program, and communicate throughout the program development and approval process. All meetings of advisory committee must be recorded in official minutes. The minutes must include the following information: identification of committee members, name, title, and affiliation, identification of committee members' presence or absence for the meeting, the names and titles of others present at the meeting, the signature of the recorder, and evidence that the industry partners have taken an active role in making decisions that affect the program as outlined in section B2A above. Minutes must be maintained by the institution and made available to THECB staff upon request. Figure 3.1 is a sample of advisory committee meeting record template at the end of this chapter. And so you guys don't have that, but there is, if you continue on, you'll see our template that we use for. Anybody have any questions on why we're here today? All right.
Charlie, I'm bringing up the, I don't actually see it to my back there. So pardon me while I move.
While she's pulling those up, they have the packets in front of them, right?
Yes.
Is anybody there that was at the last meeting to review the minutes?
We don't have the same administrative assistant currently, but if everyone will simply look them over. And I assume they can hear me from, am I okay over here? Okay, thank you, Gizmo.
Anybody at the last meeting that would like to make a motion to approve or any changes that need to be made?
Does it need
In
to
the silence, I take that as no one was present at the last meeting, so since I was, I will motion to approve, but I do need a second.
from,
Now, I was present at the last meeting, but I can't vote, right?
right?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Ms. Twyla. This would be from non-SWTJC.
So any of you from an outside entity, we need a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And who was that seconded? Was it Manuel?
No, it wasn't, not me.
Okay. I'm not sure who seconded. Who seconded?
Eric Martinez.
Thank you so much. I'm not seeing the whole Zoom, so I apologize for that. Thank you. Go ahead, Twyla.
Okay.
I mean, go
then
ahead,
we will,
Charlie.
move on to the
Advisory dashboard.
dashboard information.
Okay, and Ryan was going to be here today, and he is our tech for all things data related. I shouldn't say tech. He's a very important person because he is our person that compiles all of this. And typically he would have been here, but he had to be out some, so he was trying to catch up on work and was unable to come. So I will do my best. I am not, he's aware of where all the data comes from. So anything that's more questions beyond what we see, Ryan is really good at. But anybody in our organization that wants to jump in here and help explain these, I would appreciate that. And you can see where it starts on page 7 in your document. And you can see that it has trended up and then we're trended down just a little bit. But we have actually made some gains. You can see the gender, it is almost, it's not entirely female, but it's a large majority is female. And go ahead.
Bonnie, this is Judy. So I guess I can just give a little bit of information regarding that top information, the demographics. So it's based on the years of where we are at. So 2020 to 2021 was that, you'll see there that we were reading at 33. We had a little dip in 2021 to 2022. We came back up 2022 to 2023. 23-24 was excellent. We hit pretty high. And we're now back in the 37 range for 24, 2025, which is estimated. And so hopefully that is something that we can continue to build a little bit higher in the next coming semesters. That trade will go up. And if you look at our gender, we do as a campus keep track of our gender area. And so we do have a lot. Obviously, it's predominantly female. We do love it when we see those male numbers in there. And so hopefully we can continue to push. Business office technology is a very important field. And we just got to get those men in there those guys in there to see that. If you want to scroll.
Yes, ma'am.
So the race and ethnicity there is established, it's listed there. I cannot break it down, but it shows you there Hispanic, Latino, white, 2 or more races and other. And of course, this is only projected through people or students who do answer that information on their forms. And next we're gonna look at Pell recipiency. So if you do, most of our students, a lot of our students do run on financial aid. And so we're able to, or Pell recipiency for them to receive their funding for the courses, which we're really excited to be able to provide all of those. This next portion of the dashboard kind of just breaks it down a little bit more as far as where the term and year panel is the year that the genders, and then the race again and ethnicity breaks down into the years of it. And so if you'll scroll down a little bit more.
I'm always shocked at the Pell recipiency. Let's see, it's right here. And actually, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So 36% do not get Pell grants. And then I can't see that other number, 64%.
It's a 64, yeah.
Yeah, do receive. So, but it's actually, Ryan went back and fixed this a little bit because it wasn't showing correctly to begin with. Go ahead, Judy.
Right. And so, again, it's just broken down into those students that we do have or that are paying out of pocket or another funding to come through the college. And it tells you in progress, not successfully completed and successfully completed over there on the last little, I'm seeing it on the right side bottom for me. So I believe it would be on the left side bottom for you guys. It talks about our students that currently are in progress of completing their certification through the BOT program. We have a 48% of students that have officially completed, and then not successfully completed, we have 34%. I think Ms. Bonnie's been working really good about contacting students who may be clear near the finishing line. She's working on getting those students bought back in, reaching out and trying to promote so that we can have those completions.
Judy, are those historical or just in the year that we're looking at?
I believe there's a little bit of history in there. They're a little bit historical for students that I'm gonna assume that we are going back. Ryan's not here, but I'm thinking of the 2021 phase to show that. And so I know that Ms. Bonnie's been working really hard. We've gotten her, or she's gotten connected with the studios to be able to bring data of students that, you know, either got halfway through or maybe just need 1 or 2 classes left to get that completion. And so she's going to reach out to try and get that done. And if you see our persistence rates and our retention rates there, of course, our persistence, obviously 24% are not persistent, is at 76%, but there's so many things that can be tied into that. You know, we have working students, parents, things of that nature that could possibly keep the student from being able to complete fully. But again, Bonnie's working on getting those, and I think the junior college or the college, I'm sorry, as well as doing a great job in trying to get those students back in and to complete those career goals for them. You can keep going. So again, the fall and spring retain, we're going from students that begin in the fall and come into the spring. Those are numbers that we are working on to build, to get those students to come back in and complete their courses and to get to that finish line. And both of these are documenting that. And then we have our graduation count.
And
so,
go ahead.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say one thing that is affected, and you can see here, these 2 lines are, no, let's see, it's this one and this one. The yellow one and the orange one, those are both OSAs, Occupational Skills Awards, and those are new to our program. Yeah, if you were here last year, you might remember that was one of the recommendations, is that we have occupational skills awards. What those are is that it is a small award. It's what we want. We want students to come in. We want to entice them in. And there's one in the fall and one in the spring. The one in the fall is the business office technology. And the one in the spring is the QuickBooks and accounting and business math. So you can see that so far we've already had graduates from that. So that's wonderful. And also another thing for us that's important is the OSAs became fundable. Last year, HB 8 came into it. Revolutionized, completely changed the way colleges are funded. And colleges in the state of Texas have always been funded through enrollment. And now they completely took that model away and said, we're going to fund colleges based on students gaining certification, students gaining awards and degrees. So if no students get awards or no students get certifications or get degrees, then we don't get funding from the state for those. So it's really important that we take advantage of any funding opportunity that we can. But this is also something that's really good for the student, because they can come in and get in one semester They can take, for instance, in the fall, it is the courses that include Microsoft Word, Excel, Access, and there's another class that includes Outlook and PowerPoint. And so they can take those 4 classes together in one semester and get a award for that. So they have a certificate that they can put on their wall or they can show to employers. I'm sure y'all know Word and Excel, especially Excel especially, is a very highly sought after for employees to have that knowledge. Each of these courses are in depth. It is not just touched on. We go into the advanced features in each of those. Also, in each of those courses, we prepare them for testing for certification from Microsoft. And the tests are a high standard. So we don't always have all students pass those. Some years in Word, sometimes we do. But it just depends. One thing that I struggle with helping the students with is test anxiety. And a lot of students, if it's a high stakes test, especially students that are returning from the work field, they're not right out of high school, they have a lot of test anxiety. So non-traditional students. So that's something that I work with them on. I give them a list of things that they can do to help themselves with test anxiety. But anyway, there's those 4 programs together, I can tell y'all, is a workload. And my students tell me, Ms. Herndon, this is a lot. And it's designed to be, because for each of those programs, to learn a skill, you have to practice a skill. And so I give them lots of practice, and it is a workload. If they're taking all 4 of those together, trust me, they deserve a recognition. And then in the spring, we're doing the Intro to Accounting, the QuickBooks course, and the and Business Math, all 3 of those. And if they take those 3 courses together, then they also qualify for another OSA, another Occupational Skills Award. And so they can receive that. Judy, did you have more to say on that? I'm sorry.
No, I think you covered it all. It's just, like I said, it's really beneficial all around for a student. Sometimes, like I said, we have working moms or we have students that must work. This gives them the advantage to take into the workplace or to take and put on that resume if they're looking for a job. We have this Occupational Skills Award where they can still continue to work and come to school. It just gives them the better option for that.
Right. Thank you. And I'm not sure if that's the last. I think it is. Okay, and this is just the catalog pages. And you can see the 2 Occupational Skills Awards. And like I said, this one is Access Word. This one it covers both PowerPoint and Outlook, and then spreadsheets. And y'all, let me go back to the agenda. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I have a tendency to do that. Okay. Did anybody have any questions for yes, go ahead.
I've got some questions just so that I can make sure I know what I'm looking at here. So, looking at the dashboard, are we saying that currently there's 37 students enrolled in any number or mix of these programs, these classes?
Judy, do you have an answer to that?
Yes, I believe that is currently, hopefully, if I'm correct, Mr. Ryan will not get mad at me. Yes, so we should have a total right now at least 37 students who are specifically tied to business office technology. That means they have listed their major or declared their major as a business office technology student.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself. This is Ramon Castro from Uvalde. But so then what is our capacity? How many students could we be serving through these programs?
So the capacity, because we definitely, we can grow if we, you know, there really isn't a set capacity because these classes are online. Most of these classes, or all of these classes are occurring online. So we can set a, you know, a 35 limit. However, if it increases, we can add additional cohort options on there.
And how many instructors throughout?
Right, we have Ms. Bonnie Herndon. Ms. Twyla, do you, I think there's a course or two that you teach within this program. Bonnie, if you wanna.
I teach most of the program. Twyla and Miss Connie Buchanan also teach the accounting. Several years ago, we gave the students accounting options. They can take an accounting course that's on the academic side, or they can take a course on the technical side. And so either one of those. Now, the one that is in the Occupational Skills Award is actually on the technical side. But anyway, I appreciate both Twyla and Connie for their input. Now, for the high school programs, some of those have their own instructor, and that's why I think it's Pearsall is the other one. It's somewhere south. I think it's Pearsall, and they have their own instructor. So we'll have high schools that do this. Right now, I'm serving as an instructor for both Uvalde Classical Academy and Lakey High School as well. Uvalde High School has their own instructor. So it just depends. But typically at the college, I teach the entire program except for the academic accounting.
Well, and then I also teach, I think in your electives or in your third year, you have principles of management and human resource management.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and accounting 2402, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm just trying to get a handle on it. So then, and I just think about Southwest Texas College serving such a large area. But it seems that some of our courses in this program, it's maybe just a handful of students.
There are, you're exactly right. And actually, several years back, we moved some of the courses that were taught in the second year, we moved them to the first year to make our first year a better program as far as getting them the skills that they need to be able to work, to find employment. And when we did that, we made the first year so strong that actually what happens is typically they get jobs right after the first year. And they don't always come back for the second year for the Associate of Applied Science degree. And so we do lose some of them. And sometimes I think back and I wonder if that was a mistake on our part, but that's kind of being selfish because obviously the student benefited if they went out and were able to find a job based on that.
But they went out finding a job, certificate in hand or something?
Right, we have a 1-year certificate. And so when they complete that 1-year certificate, and now if they complete the 1-year certificate, typically they'll also get both OSAs as well. So they actually leave with, after a year, with 3 different awards.
Okay. All right, and forgive me, I've got several questions.
No, please, I appreciate the questions.
All right. And so then what do we attribute to less than 50% completion of programs?
Of the program. Okay, for one.
You just touched on a lot of them, right? I mean, but I'm calling that a completion of program, right?
Right.
After a year.
Right.
We've got stats here that say even with that success rate right there, we've got less than 50% completion being reported on the dashboard here.
Right. And that's one thing that we've looked at doing previously, and maybe this is something we should consider again. there are programs that are what's called blocked programs, and basically the students go through the program at the same pace, and they go through it with the same courses. And typically in those courses also, in those programs also, they take one course at a time with each other in that group. And with a group, it's becomes, but a lot of those are face to face. But typically the BOT students are non-traditional. The adult college students are non-traditional. A lot of times we've got moms that their child's or their youngest child has gotten old enough, they're going to school now. Mom has some time and they decide to, come back and get some skills to be able to get a good job. And but they don't always commit to the same rate of going through. So they may decide that, 3 classes is all they can handle, and they don't, and that's pretty typical. For financial aid, though, what is it? Is it 12 hours? Is Judy?
Yeah, so yes, and well, now with the new, so prior it was, you had to take a certain amount of credit hours in order to receive that financial aid distribution across the board that would be generous to pay for everything that you needed. However, with the new stats and the new changes in our financial aid distribution system, you'd be able now to take a lesser amount of hours, credit hours, and still receive the amount of financial needs specific to those hours. And so I know that we are working again to get those students back in, to get them completed. However, you have some students that, unfortunately they just can't take that full load. It's one course at a time, or one course a semester or 2, and just getting through. And so that's what I think affects our rates as well. But we are again working to get those rates back up, to get those, adding in these additional OSAs in order to entice those students. Come back, let's get you finished, let's get you completed, let's get you successful, and push for that better range out in the workforce.
So do we have I'm going to use the word demographically appropriated report that shows the difference between success and
that's a very good question. As far as I'm aware, we don't. As far as the different age groups and their success,
or whatever group, you know what I'm saying? That's why I use the word demographics. What does that look like if we actually put that to a report? Do we? And I say because you focus on moms that maybe got it a little tougher. I mean, well, we know they do, right? But is that a big portion of it, or do we really need to dig in to find out more?
I think Ryan, if Ryan was here, he'd be able to specifically answer further, deeper into those, as he handles all of that portion of our the reporting. And I'm sure he can dig a little deeper. But again, you have the other thing we've got to take into consideration is sometimes these students don't put the appropriate, or they don't specify certain information on that application process. And so the data will never be 100%. However, it'll be as close to as what we can get it to according to what is given and the information given.
Can I request that?
absolutely.
Okay.
We definitely can.
And that's
As a success coach, I see the students that come in, and the majority of those are going to be the older student, older than average, coming back to school, that haven't been in school, have never been in school, or coming back to school. And they want a certification so that they can go ahead and look for a job. A lot of them are that working mom, or they're the older than average student, is what it's going to be for that, from what I see in Del Rio.
And I can tell you something about this type of student also. First of all, I went back to college as an adult. I mean, did you? Yeah. And we have when you. Okay. I understand. And it's like, I think when we come back after having worked in the workplace and, when we come back and we realize that, first of all, we realize that education is super important, but also we realize that it's scary because to get back and a lot of times, if they feel like they're getting in these classes with kids right out of high school and they feel like that they can't match up. I have had one particular sweet student. When we did have face-to-face classes, after the first day of class, she came and met me in my office, and she sat down and she's Miss Herndon, I don't think I can do this, and she just started bawling. And it's really scary for them. It really is. And with her, I was able to talk her down and tell her. And there's a story I tell them about when I went back to college, and it's like I loved algebra in high school, and I felt like college algebra is where I should be, right, for my first semester. So I jumped into college algebra, and it's like the first homework took me like 5 hours, and I was just like overwhelmed. And I went to my instructor and I told her, I said, I don't think I can do this. Kind of the same thing. And she told me, she said, okay, this is what I'm going to tell you. She said, I know you're willing to work hard. She said, if you work really hard at the first, she said, you'll get faster and faster and faster. And soon you'll be doing it just as fast as any student, as the high school students. And she was right. And I did. I worked really hard. And so I tell my students that story, and I tell them, and that was what I told the student that was crying that day. She now has a master's in business. So, but her first degree was with us, and it was the BOT program, and she got a certificate and then her Associate of Applied Science, and then with her bachelor's and ended up with the MBA. So she's certainly one of our prime examples. But it's scary. It's scary when you come back, and it's scary when you know that you have to, match up and you're not used to studying anymore, and we're a little rusty. But those are our, and it's another thing is that they're very difficult to recruit, because it's our typical recruiting is that we go to high schools and we talk to high schools and we talk to we do different events in town and that sort of thing. But these non-traditionals, it's not like they gather in any one specific place. And so we, it's hard to reach them. It's hard to talk to them and get those conversations going and help them understand and get their confidence up where they can do it.
One thing, this is Twyla Barnett, one thing I see with the Business Office Technology Program too is that it gives such great workforce skills that are needed in the workplace today that you have students coming in for just a class. They just want to learn QuickBooks, or they just want to learn Microsoft Office. And so they may go ahead and enroll in the program, but they're not really seeking a certificate. They're just wanting certain skills. And Bonnie may have already said that, but.
So does that take us into why we've got a pie chart here for persistent?
Persistent.
Yeah, what is that?
Persistence, I think, is on the, what does it say next to that? Is it say?
Persistent, not persistent.
Okay, there we go. But it doesn't give, usually.
It doesn't, yeah, the more specific.
I think it's fall to fall.
Yeah.
Like where retention is fall to spring.
Right. I think that's right. It's fall to fall, which again, if a student is with us and gets a 1-year certificate, they're not, there are some that are coming back for the second year, but it's small groups. So that's why that would be a smaller amount.
So that's
Right. On the persistent setting again, and that's gonna go back and regarding the type of student we have and their completion. And if you see Mr. Luis Perez in the chat, but sometimes students only take one class looking for a specific certification. And so sometimes they do come specifically for one thing, whether they're already in the workforce and maybe they're just needing to advance into another position. So they're gonna come take this one course to get them that information or to get that, whatever it is that they need so that they're able to advance in their current career setting. So the persistence rate there is, again, it's a little bit less maybe than what it should be, but I believe it's regarding those subjects that we just discussed.
Right. And that's one thing that I did this summer is I used a Studious, which is just a software tool that we have, that I went back and looked for students that need like 3 classes to graduate. And I specifically targeted those students and contacted them and brought a few of them in to be able to come back and complete. Because sometimes, life happens and it's like they come a semester, they may be successful that semester, but they can't come back in spring. So, we need to do a great job of bringing those students back in that don't finish.
I have a question about that. That's a really good point from a business perspective. I have a lot of clerical people that could come back and learn word processing or Excel or business writing that would just focus on one area. Those of you that are in the student success, when people enroll for this degree program, how is it presented to them? And would it be on the front end, say, if you just want a class, and I'm not sure which is more beneficial to the BOT program, is it more beneficial that they come with one, and come and just take one, or just enroll for the one class, just ad hoc? I know we want people in the program, but I'm not sure. We're looking at retention, but does the program get any credit if I just come in and take one and I don't finish? Or would it be more beneficial for the counselors to gear them to just, hey, let's just enroll you in this one class, not in the BOT program?
Well, with
go ahead.
I was just going to say, with HB8, we don't get any funding unless they actually get some sort of award. So for us, it's not, but I like to focus on the student side of things. And if the student gets, sometimes I feel like if they come in and get one success, that can make them hungry for more. So I certainly wouldn't say that there's no benefit to that. Certainly, and the student may just need, like you said, Charla, may just need a specific set of skills. Maybe that student's really great in Word and they just need to come and get some Excel skills. And if they just come and do that, their life is certainly still being benefited, as well as their employer.
Right, and so I'll say on the Success Coach, I believe on the Success Coach, and I'll speak for y'all Success Coaches just a little bit. I think they do a great job of pushing these students to get, because the goal is, and always has been for those students to complete, to finish, to have that success, to move, to get that, obtain those certifications, to get that success. But yes, you do have some that just, maybe they just need that one to move up, and it's how do we implore, how do we pull them back in to say, hey, this is, out there, this is what we can do. And I know our Success Coaches will give all of that information. Again, it's just reaching out to those students and saying, hey, how can we help you further? And what can we do to help you pursue completion of X, Y, or Z?
I think that the reason I'm asking that is because from a marketing perspective, we've talked several committee meetings, how we market this program. I could send you 15 employees right now that would take some or part of this. That's why I'm saying, is it beneficial for me to send the 15 and start the BOT program, even though they may not finish, because there's a lot of skill sets in this program that I think are completely beneficial for anyone that wants to grow. And one of our opportunities here is, there's not a growth plan. Well, if you're a biller and collector, or if you're a coder, there you've got team lead and you've got manager, which don't have a lot of things. But for these registration clerks, who may want to be something more than a registration clerk, I could definitely see recruiting to this program, because now I've got a wide range that will help me here or somewhere else. So from a marketing perspective, if I'm just looking for those students who are out of work or have family and going back into the workforce, then I probably wouldn't put my current employees through this if it's not beneficial to the program. I'd just say, hey, go enroll in the junior college, we'll pay for you in an Excel class, or,
And I don't think they market it towards, let's get them to complete just because it's beneficial for, I think we definitely would never turn away a student. I'm on Bonnie stated earlier, we really want the success of all the students. Now, does it affect us as far as the data and statistics are listing? Oh yeah, it does. And it will, but if it's noted that, these 15 students are specifically coming in for just X, Y, and Z, at least that's data that we can present to our board and say, hey, we only have these, they only want X, Y, and Z, and so that's why we're not gonna have the completion. Does it hurt us on this end? Not entirely, no, because we still have that funding coming in from them to be able to take these courses. Now, are we getting that additional funding because they completed the program? No, but that's okay, because we nor had it nor were without it, and if that makes sense. And so I think on the marketing perspective, and even getting one student to come in and being successful in just at least one of these courses where it's going to benefit them in the long run, and maybe later in the future they're going to, that if they keep climbing that ladder, maybe they need another thing and another thing. And so it may take us 10, 15 years to get one completion, but in the overall end, it's it's student success. It's back for the student, and we've completed our goal of helping somebody to grow in their field.
Speaking to the committee members who are employers, do you think that this is a good opportunity to market within your organization to get people into this program from a workforce perspective? I know some of you are new to the committee, but we've just been talking about succession planning and, growth opportunities here. And I usually think about these classes independently, but if we could incentivize them at the end of the completion, then it would benefit the program, and it would definitely benefit us, and it would benefit the employee. I'm just asking for feedback from everybody as an employer. What are your thoughts?
If I may, again, and let me just be clear, or let me make sure that I'm clear. The program is set up, it is structured as I'll use the word individual completions, each one of them, but within the program, correct?
Right.
Okay, so, all right, so I just want to make sure I understand, so that we potentially have a higher success rate if we proportion that out to each individual certificate that can be earned, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not seeing that here in this report. In other words, we're not seeing how many people went and took the certification for Excel. Am I right?
Right. No.
Right, so, and then we have the program as a whole. That is the completion. You have the BOT certification that says you've got it all.
Right.
Okay. And so I'm still, I still wish we had more students.
Right.
I just can't believe it.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, we carry this entire area this entire region, geographical region. And every I call it a for sale sign for employment that you find, whether it's on LinkedIn or you name it, monster.com, this is the job everyone is looking to hire for.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so at what point, right, and so at what point, and I'm thinking ahead, it's kind of like on a wish list, because I'm an alumni of the junior college.
No, that's great.
At what point does Southwest Texas College become a leader in this, to where we have, 100, 200 students that are coming here to get those certifications because they know they're absolutely going to find a job. Yeah.
I had one of my students last year. I had a student that was one of our rodeo students, and she actually had a bachelor's degree to begin with when she came to us, and which, they do this, that stay in the rodeo team. But anyway, she came and enrolled in the BOT program, and she, in her first semester, she told me at the end of that semester, she said, "Miss Herndon," she said, "I learned more in this one semester with you than I learned in 4 years of my bachelor's degree." She said, "And these are skills I will use for the rest of my life." And that's, to me, that's what our program is. These are skills that no matter what you're going to do, what kind of business or anything, these are skills that will help you.
And so to answer Charlotte's question, and I'll call it a concern, then who is pressing upon the partnerships? We've got large institutions throughout our communities, the hospitals, Charlotte's at, the bank where I'm at, Walmart. I mean, who goes out and reminds folks that we've got to get our employees out there to the best opportunity to acquire these levels of education?
Right. And, we haven't really marketed directly to organizations. Christelle is here, and she is actually the director.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Is the internship still part of this? Bonnie,
Yes.
Stuck in the chat. Can you go back up to the courses that are offered from the catalog?
Yes,
is the internship still part of this?
Yes, it is, and it's the last of the second year. So typically I have 2 or 3 students in an internship. And that's Connie Buchanan. She's a VP over at Del Rio campus, and they had one of our interns this past spring. And she told me, she said that she knew so much, it's like she was teaching everyone else in the department that she was working in. And that's what happens.
I really feel like after this conversation, I'm not sure who's talking from the bank, but I really think he could supersede me as the chairman. I really like where he's going with that, but
Charlotte, I think it's the Raymond Castro.
Oh, okay. Of course it is. I really like where he's going with that, because I think from an employer perspective, even if we took that homework away and we have a lot of new members, to see who might, get a marketing packet together for our organizations and bring that back, they could do their internship here. Maybe in a different capacity for this next year, and see how many candidates we're able to grow, and see if it's perspective, and then see if it's worth marketing to other employers. Because I think we've got a good wide variety of organizations here.
Yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for even bringing that up. It's a great, I know that we have been really working on how to get our marketing out there and build it a little bit better. And so I'm glad that, you know, to hear this, we have a marketing team, you know, Miss Bonnie's here with us. She does get out and try to get out into these career fairs and things that we have, but we definitely do need to build. I see that, I hear it, Mr. Raymond. And again, I agree, we need to, you know, start, put a packet together and get out there, getting face to face, bring it in person to the different areas and just getting out there to promote so that everybody sees.
Mr. Martinez?
Well, I think we're your biggest cheerleaders that are here on the committee, so it would be a whole lot less walking steps for Bonnie if we just, you know, got the packet and started internally.
Mr. Martinez has his hand up. Can we recognize him, please, Charla?
Oh, sure.
Marketing and speaking to the community and being around the 9 counties, a lot of the jobs in demand right now that we are seeing basically are the top three. Going to be healthcare, it's going to be nursing, that aspect of things, and then the other is going to be commercial driver's license and lineman, right? So those are the 3 that we are currently right now focusing on. We do have, as far as the eligible training program, right? Business, I'm looking at it right now, and it is part of our scope of services as far as the business administration and management in general. So the TWC does provide funding for that. The only thing is that in our general area right now, not a whole lot of businesses are hiring for that. At least that's what we are seeing right now in our trend. But that's not to say that we can definitely help promote and push this business, the bot, and so that people can take advantage of it. And if they do not stay within our county, go to San Antonio or in our council of governments, then we apply them, right? Because they are going to get educated and go get a fulfilling job as their career, I should be saying. Other than that, that's on our outlook. That's where our position is right now. But I'm definitely for outreaching and getting together with any type of marketing plan that y'all want to implement.
Eric, could you put your contact information in the chat? I think it might behoove us to reach out if Texas Workforce Commission has some funding. That might be something we could add for the demographics instead of just Pell Grants, and really take advantage of that for some of our low-income employees who might get back. We also might include some of these requirements as an intro to certain positions, you know, certain clerical positions. If we could require this, you know, require it, the degree in 2 years or something, it might get some people in. And with healthcare, you can go, you know, almost anywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll take any nurse that you have.
Yes. Definitely, it is on the Texas Workforce Commission's website, and all you have to do is Texas TWC and then eligible training program. They have an Excel spreadsheet that is statewide. It's I'll go ahead and let's see what I can do. Do
you mean to let you share?
Yeah, it'll let you look at everybody, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy it here when we get off the conversation, but I'll copy and paste it so that way I already pulled the Southwest Texas Junior College. So that way they can, you can see all of the partnership and collaboration that we do have with Southwest Texas Junior College, that we are able to help out with the workforce. And my contact information is up on the screen right now. So if you just want to email me, and then I don't want to put on my phone number right now.
We can't see your we can't see your screen yet.
Till later, but yes, yeah, no, we definitely have. There's a wide variety of training and 2-year degrees that we can help out with.
Mr. Martinez,
of course, there is eligible. Application of eligibility that needs to be filled out and a test that is required through TWC to be able to be approved for those fundings.
We can't see your screen yet.
Oh, I haven't shared. I wanted to, I can't sometimes walk and chew gum, right?
I understand.
So I will share it here in a moment.
Okay, no problem.
Is there any other questions about the dashboard or any other input that we have on this? I think maybe we can develop that a little bit better if we pursue some of these options and then maybe target in for marketing next committee meeting.
I have a quick question for Bonnie.
Yes.
Bonnie, when I have a student come in and it's gonna be their first semester and it's spring, is it okay to start on the spring semester? Because I know the courses are only offered spring or fall.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
No, I'm very happy to have a student start in whatever smart semester works for them.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's an advantage that we're not blocked, is that a student can start at any point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ms. Brandon,
Yes.
can I share about some TWC funding?
Absolutely, please do.
So we have a grant with TWC that is for training employees. It's not for programs, for credit programs, but it's more for what we've been talking about as specific skills. And it is meant for small businesses in our community, and we are preparing a campaign and an outreach. We've already done some of that. We're gonna launch another outreach campaign to our local businesses, because the business can apply to send employees to all of Ms. Herndon's courses, but it wouldn't be for credit. So the college can run the class, the exact same class, and it can be taught by Ms. Herndon. And we can have two students sitting in the same classroom, but one is for credit and seeking perhaps a program, and one is for the specific skill for their job. So our grant would pay for the student to go and take Excel. And they would get credit, they would get continuing education units. And if they were to choose to go into Ms. Barton's class in the future during her program, then we can work out a equivalency, because it's the exact same course. So they could take it at no cost to them, but there is an application process, which, like everything else with TWC. So the business has to be in good standing, and it has to be a form, and tax information has to be submitted. But potentially, if we can send employees to any of Ms. Herndon's courses that we have in our catalog, and it wouldn't be for credit or for the goal of completing a program, but for the specific goal of gaining a work skill.
Why not? I've got to ask that. Why not a credit?
And that's the way the program is structured, is for workforce training. So it's not with an academic focus, but with a workforce focus. Now, of course, if they were to seek, if they wish to continue, we would encourage them and track them, but that's when Pell kicks in, that's when financial aid kicks in. This is from TWC, the Texas Workforce Commission, so their focus is always on employees already in a job or seeking employment.
And your classes are offered virtually, you said?
They're all online. They're all online.
At a certain time, or they can take them at any time?
No, they can take them anytime within the semester. I mean, that is structured through the semester so that it lasts a semester. They can work ahead if they want, but it is a semester-long classes. So they, for like the fall, they might take the 4 classes that we talked about, Word, Excel, Access, and then the one that has both PowerPoint and Outlook in it. And they could take all 4 of those at the same time. Now, I can tell you that's a workload, but that is offered all online, so they can take it whenever they have time. And it's online courses are traditionally harder for students because they don't have someone talking to you every day and telling you, you know, exactly what you should do. But it's my classes, I try to make sure that everything in the course is very, very structured, and that I try to respond very, very, very quickly to my students when they have a question, and I tell them I want to hear from you. And so when they email me, as long as it's a waking hour, you know, I don't if they're in the middle of the night, but typically I try to get back to them very, very quickly. The standard at the college is within 24 hours during a regular work week, and then the first Monday afterwards. But I try to respond very much sooner than that, because if a student is working on the assignment, I want them to have an answer right away. I want them to have the input that they need to do that. So I do try to step across that and try to be as supportive as possible. And also another thing that I do is, like, when one student is stuck at a particular spot on an assignment, I know that if one student has reached out to me, then it's likely other students are also going to get stuck if they haven't yet. And so I usually make like a little video and I upload it, and I'll send it out in an announcement to all the students and just tell them, you know, that if you have a question on step number 6, this is how to do it. And other questions or discussions? Okay, here's, let me open this. And then I'll share it again. Okay, and this is the file that Mr. Martinez shared with us. I think maybe we're not seeing. Okay, there's one right there, Word in Excel and Access. Okay, industry recognized certificate of completion. Mr. Martinez, do you want to comment on that?
Sorry, I had my mic off. Yes, those are going to be that's after you finish the program, that's what you would get, right? That's the outcome of that.
There would be, okay, like if they finished Word, Excel, Access, and the other one that is PowerPoint and Outlook, they would get a OSA award, Occupational Skills Award. But they're also, they're doing certification. You said industry recognized certificate of completion. I don't know if you mean from the college or if you're meaning from Microsoft, because for each of those softwares that I mentioned, they take the MOS certification for those also. Now, I'm not going to say they all pass it.
Right.
Right. But anyway, that we do include that, the training and testing for the certification. And that's, of course, recognized by Microsoft. Other questions? Comments? And that's, Christelle, thank you for your input, because she's actually the one she's the director for our workforce program, and she actually does market to the businesses. So, and that's what she was talking about as far as That's the non-credit side. But I didn't know that we could do an equivalency and bring those students in for credit afterwards. We can get the funding and then bring them in later, right? That would be great.
All right, then I think we can go to the next order of business, old business.
Yes, ma'am. I think we've kind of discussed the we've discussed the current program and the OSAs, and we've also talked briefly about recruiting. Is there anything, anybody have any questions over any of it?
Okay, we'll take that as a no and go to new business. Act on recommending bookkeeping and office technology occupational skills award. That's a mouthful.
I think you're looking at last year's minutes.
Oh, last year's minutes, I sure am.
The new business is just any recommendations that y'all want to make for us.
I scrolled too far.
Yeah, and I know that one recommendation was whether to get the data broken down as far as age groups, right? For Mr.
Yes.
Castro. Are there other recommendations that y'all would like to make?
I think following up on the order of marketing to us, you know, seeing what we can do before we, and then look at the demographics next year, I think would be the biggest follow-up that I understand.
And I think going back to what Christelle said, I think one thing that would really strengthen the program is working with Christelle in the workforce, where we can bring in people and get funded from businesses sending people to us. And then also then we can bring them into the program afterwards.
I completely agree, and you said that is small business focused, right?
Yes, small business, 100 employees or less.
That's gold.
140.
100 employees or less.
Oh, 140.
I have to go back to the grant writing, but I believe that's the number.
Okay.
Employees or less. And there's an equivalent to this for bigger businesses and corporations. We've gotten that one as well. It's the same name, skills, it's an SDF, Skills Development Fund, and it's for large conglomerates. It is the same concept. And we've applied with large companies before, manufacturing here in the past, and we've gotten them. And so if there's a company out there that's interested in applying with us and with Middle Rio, so when we apply for these grants, there's three components. Is the training, which is us, the college, the company, and Middle Rio has to be part of the application. So just putting it out there. If there's bigger companies, there's also the same type of funding available. We don't currently have a grant for larger companies. We just have a grant for small businesses. And we haven't had this one in many years.
Mr. Walker, are you on with us? Because I would certainly think Coleman Horton would be less than 100 and would be eligible for some of that. Any other recommendations?
All right. Any other comments or feedback between now and the next committee meeting? All right, then I would motion to adjourn the meeting if anybody has a second.
Charla, 1 second, 1 moment, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How often does that committee meet?
Just once a year. Yeah, but you can always email me and you know, have input at any time. I would love.
Right. And Bonnie, Miss Bonnie, if they did, want to, we can do small little meetings, maybe quarterly if they were in agreement, or if anybody wanted to continue to work. That's obviously always an option. And then there's always the email option. If anybody has a question, they can email it out to the entire team, and discussions can be held, that way as well.
I would love that. I think we've tried that in years before and we haven't gotten a lot of feedback, but I think that would be super. Maybe Bonnie, if you could initiate an email just in case, we're not on it, and get us started on the topic.
Absolutely.
Once every couple of months, or, that way we could kind of see how everything's going before the next meeting.
Absolutely.
Could we get a roster of committee members?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to email that out.
Maybe all we need is a subcommittee to meet quarterly if there's a need for it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, I want to see, because I care dearly for the college. I want to see them, I was clueless up until I got here. Maybe that's why I'm saying so much. The college should be the authority in anything that they're putting out as far as the program. I hear Mr. Martinez, and he expressed, what the focus is right now, because there's a higher demand, for what he's working on there. But we serve such a large area. We should be the authority in any program that we put out.
I agree. And that's, I can tell you, I have historically had businesses, particularly small businesses, call me and say, I've got an opening and I really need somebody. I want one of your students. And typically I don't have anybody, because like I said, as soon as they get the skills, they can easily find jobs.
Well, you just gotta get that pull a little deeper.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it's just getting the marketing, and like I said, marketing to non-traditionals is difficult, because just finding them and finding that group. Maybe I need to market to daycares. I don't know. For real, because those are moms,
Do we not have partnerships, that draw that focused attention to your programming?
Partnerships with.
When I say, I'm not talking about a memorandum or anything. I just mean, something that is I call it a partnership. Any one of our community organizations is involved in a partnership of some kind.
Right.
And it pulls the focus into a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so whether you're on the giving end or the receiving end, that partnership helps to grow and work toward a common cause.
Right.
So, just like workforce.
I would say, though, everyone here is part of our partnership.
Yeah, so I need to, and believe me, I've already written certain things down there. We need to start talking more at the bank about students and what can we do to help. And my boss, I'm gonna have to break him down a little bit, because we should be first on that list of partnerships.
I appreciate that very much. But I think any student, going back to the discussion previous, as far as if one student comes in and takes a class, if they finish that class, and then especially if they get certified through Microsoft, that student has a success. And that is a partnership with our community and helping our businesses. And so, you know, we may not get extra funding for that, but we still have the tuition. We will survive, but it's an important thing that that student came and took that one class.
Appreciate everything you do, because I can see how passionate you are.
Thank you very much. I am. I do. I feel very, very blessed to be doing this. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Oh, sorry, we'll need a motion.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I'll go back to my motion. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank y'all so
All right,
much.
I hope y'all enjoy your dinner.
I really appreciate everybody for coming. Thank y'all so much.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
y'all are welcome to come and serve yourself and get yourself a plate. And there's all sorts of food. It's a barbecue plates. I know y'all are. Y'all must be.
No, it's funny.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank
later.
you. Thank y'all.
Bye, Miss Twyla.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry.
Good seeing you.
Nice to see you. Carlos.